Hey everyone, I am back again. Apparently, you couldn't hear me before, so I am hoping that you can hear me now. Let me just jump quickly onto Facey and see if I can see myself on here. All right. I can see myself on Facebook. So thank you, Stanley, for letting me know that you couldn't hear me. I'm going to start again. All right. So thank you so much for being here. And Stanley, I hope you jump back on again. So we're talking about happiness and being truly happy for the majority of the time, because it's unrealistic to be expect to be happy 24/7, right? But we can be happy for the majority of our time. And if you're not, and I know that this time of year, especially around Christmas, it can be quite hard for people, and it can actually highlight the things that are lacking in our life. So this could actually be quite a timely live for a lot of people, because I want to show you guys, I want to highlight the things, the hidden things that are possibly keeping you stuck and not being as happy as you could be in your life. All right. So if you are already happy, keep doing what you're doing. If you're not happy, or if you're happy for maybe 50% of the time and you want to be happier more of the time, then keep watching this. Okay. Because in here, I want to show you how to identify the common languages that we use that can keep us stuck. All right. Our lives are not predestined. Okay. They're not all mapped out, they're determined by our beliefs. All right. Now, our beliefs are, the things that we've grown up with. It's our experiences. It's how we see the world, how we see others, how we see ourselves. Our beliefs determine what we think and how we feel, what we do, what we don't do. And a belief is simply words that you have said on repeat. Okay, that's it. They're words that you've said on repeat, and they become your truth, because the more you say them, whether it's out loud or whether you're just remembering certain events that make you feel a certain way, you're having them on repeat. And when you're doing that, your RAS has to find you people and events and circumstances to support that belief. So then you have this evidence, and so then it becomes your truth. All right. Now, the good thing with beliefs is, because they are just words that you are repeating, it means that you can change those words. Okay, but you have to be aware of them first. So that's what I want to share with you first up in this. Listen for these statements. These are common things that a lot of us say, and I know that I, in particular, was very guilty of doing a lot of these things. And it's not about making you feel bad about this, okay? This is about making you aware of your language, because when you are aware, then you're able to change things, okay? Oh, awesome, Sally. Thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me, or that you couldn't hear me before, because that would have been awesome, hey? Going through the whole thing with no volume. All right. So the things that we say to ourselves can limit us. So I want you guys to listen and think, do I say these things? Is that me? Okay. And if it is, it's okay, because this is just about acknowledgement. You cannot change something until you first acknowledge that there is a problem. All right. So the first one is, I'm happy enough and shouldn't ask for more. All right. Have you heard yourself say that before? Or other people have it worse, so I shouldn't complain. That is actually something that I used to say a lot. Okay. I had a very good life. I have a very good life. All my life has been good. And I would feel really guilty for wanting more. And so I would limit myself. I would put a cap. I wouldn't let myself dream. I wouldn't let myself reach too far or too high, because I felt guilty for having a good life, which is crazy, because the more you are able to have a good life, to be happy, the more prosperous you are in all aspects of your life, the more you then have to give to others to help them, to lift them up. Okay, so we shouldn't feel guilty about having a good life, and we shouldn't feel guilty about wanting more. So if that's something that you have said to yourself, or you do say, just, write it down and make a note of it, because these are the things that you're going to want to switch around. All right. Maybe you've said to yourself, I don't need to be constantly happy, just content. Or I've got a good life, I shouldn't want more than this. Okay. Happiness isn't everything. I've got other priorities. Often when things aren't going the way we want them to, we will say things to justify our position. Okay, but it's important that we're listening to those words that we're actually saying, or we're aware of those words, because they are going to limit you in some capacity. All right, I've been through worse, this is good enough, or I can't expect to be happy all the time. And of course, you can't expect to be happy all the time. I touched on that at the beginning of this live. We need and we want to have contrast in our life. The contrast is what causes us to get more clarity. It allows us to change tact, to move, to do something differently, to expand and to grow. Okay, so we want the contrast. However, happiness is also our default. And it's perfectly fine to have the majority of our time happy. Don't expect to be 100% happy 24/7, but you can expect to be happy the majority of the time. Okay. This is just how life is at this stage. If you keep saying that, that statement in itself, if it makes you feel heavy or sad or anything on that lower sort of end of the emotional scale, then that is going to keep you in that state. All right. So it might be that, okay, well, this is how life is at the moment. That's the reality. However, don't stay there. Turn it around. What else can I do? What needs to happen to change? All right. Maybe you say things like, I'll be happy when blah blah happens. I'll be happy when I get a new job. I'll be happy when we have more money. I'll be happy when I go on holiday, or I'll be happy when, there's something that's delaying your happiness. But all you ever actually have is right now. Okay, the past has happened, you can't do anything about that. Future's not written. Okay, can't do anything about that. What you can do is something about now. And what you do now will actually determine your future. Okay, it will set the course for your future, but it's always changing. So be happy now, because when you are happy now, then that is what you're sending out. And the law of attraction and all the other universal laws that go with it, and keep watching what I'm talking about here, and go back and watch other lives that I've talked about, especially around the other universal laws, because they all work in conjunction. And when you understand the rules of the game, then it's easier to play the game. Okay, so what you have right now is all you actually have. So be happy now, because everything that we want is so that we can be happy. But the way it works, and you've heard people like Wayne Dyer say, you've got to feel it before you see it, sort of thing. So be happy now. And the more that you can do that, the more your life is going to change around. So if you find yourself saying things like delaying your happiness, then that's okay. Be aware of it so that you can switch it. Okay. And this next one is on a similar sort of vein. I don't have time for happiness. I've got too much to do. Well, if you're going to keep thinking that, you're perpetuating that busy, pressure, don't have any time sort of reality. Okay. Maybe I'm just not meant to be that happy. Our default, I firmly believe that our default is to be happy. Stuff happens in our life where it can take us off track a little bit. However, That's just what has happened in life. It doesn't have to be your future. Your past doesn't have to determine your future. It can change your future. Okay. You've heard of people who have turned things around on a dime because they don't want that to repeat. All right. So it's entirely possible once you become aware of your language first. Okay. So this is your first step. And if you're feeling a little bit uncomfortable with this, that's okay. Persevere with it, because the discomfort is what happens before we have the growth. All right. Think back to anything you've ever done, anything you've ever learned. When you were learning to walk, maybe you don't remember that, but you fell down a lot, okay? You might have hurt yourself as well, but then you kept going and you were able to walk. Riding a bike, you probably fell off your bike. I don't think there's a single person in the world who has ever not had a stack on their bike while they're learning to ride. So, that discomfort, that pain, it happens in the growth period. The more you do it, the more you persevere, the more you keep going, then you come out the other side. So this is exactly the same. Think of it in the exact same light, okay? At least I'm not miserable, so I'm doing okay. Well, yes, and that is good. However, don't settle. What I want you guys to get from this, from anything else, if you don't get anything else, don't settle with okay. All right? You don't have to settle with okay. What else have we got? I'm fine. It could be worse. True. However, focus forward. Focus on the positive. I've been through too much. Happiness feels like it's out of reach. If that is something that really resonates with you, I really urge you to not stop. If you need help to move forward from your past, then get help, because you are absolutely 100% worth it, and the happiness is worth it. There was a time when you were happy. Even if you don't remember it, it was there. There are so many inspirational people that you can look to. Oprah is one of them. She had a very hard childhood. She was abused a lot. And now look at where she is now. So find stories of inspiration, because if one person can do it, it means that you can do it as well. It means it's possible. And all you need right now, especially if you're at that, you feel like happiness is out of reach, all you need right now is that little bit of hope. Okay? So find that hope wherever it is. Go and actively seek things that will inspire you, that will give you hope. Be amongst people who are uplifting. Okay, this is all part of the journey to come out of that. All right. Okay, so some limiting beliefs. Now you'll see that these are just more statements. Okay, I'm not allowed to be happy because others are struggling. So this is what I was talking about before. You're feeling guilty because you're happy where others around you might be going through a difficult time. Mike, hi, thanks for joining me. What are you saying here? I find it difficult to be happy when you're in pain all the time. I need to put my glasses on, Mike. I can't read that. Growing old is difficult. The simplest things cause pain. Yeah, and look, Mike, when you are in pain like that, absolutely, because it is so very much in your reality, it is really hard to ignore that pain. I've actually got something for you, Mike, if you're interested, that will help you with that pain. I'm not going to go into it right now, but it will get to the root of the inflammation that's going on in your body. And once you sort out the inflammation, then the symptoms, which is pain and all the other sorts of things, it has to, the symptoms have to change, okay? I will send you a message after this about that, Mike, as to how you can do that, because, yeah, when we are in pain, it's hard to concentrate on anything else. I get that. So let's do something to help ease that pain, and then it's going to be easier for you to not pay attention to it, if that makes sense. And I get it. I hurt my hip the other day, and growing old is, look, we don't have to, pain doesn't have to be part of growing old. It often is, and I know I'm getting off topic a little bit here. It often is, though, because of what we've done in the past, decades, with relation to our stress, to our thoughts, to not dealing with other things, um, in a way that we can put them in the past as well. So things sort of build up in our body, that cause the inflammation that then cause the pain. And yeah, so it can be an accumulative thing, okay? You don't have to be. I look at my parents, they're in their 80s and they're incredibly healthy people. My mum is on the product that I'm going to talk to you about, Mike, and it has alleviated so much of the pain that she has in her life as well, in her body, okay? But it's all about choices in what we consume, through the food that we eat, through the air, the water, what we put on our skin, what we watch, what we consume through our eyes and our ears. Everything really, everything plays a part in it. And so because we're causing that by what we do, we can undo it as well, okay? Let me see what you're saying here, Senli. I don't know if this will all show. I don't deserve happiness because I was raised that we need to bear our burdens. Family problems are not shared. Typical traditional Asian mindset that bad things will always happen when I am happy. And I learnt that this is not the case. Absolutely, darling. It's actually untrue. It took me a while to unlearn that mindset. Sharing is actually caring and gives the opportunity for the helper to reach out. It actually goes both ways. Yeah, absolutely, Senli. And I'm so glad that you have realized that that is not true. Okay, often, and this is what I was saying before, I don't know whether it was in this one or when I was muted. A lot of the beliefs that we have are formed between that 0 to 7 age bracket. Okay, when we are little sponges and we're just seeing everything, we're seeing the people around us, what they do, how they act, what they think, how they behave, their beliefs, and we take them all in. We're like these little sponges, okay? And so it's often we form these beliefs ourselves at that age because we have no emotional or mental maturity to go, well, hang on a minute, that's not right. That comes later, and it might come many decades later, where we sit back and we question and go, okay, well, maybe that's not actually correct. And this is where we question things, and this is where we can turn things around, okay? The more we're aware of that, though, the better. And there's that saying that you can't give from an empty cup. I don't actually believe your cup is ever empty, and that's a physics thing, because energy is everywhere. You can't. Nature abhors the vacuum. You can't have an empty space. There is always something there. So your cup is always full. It's always full. But what is it full of? Is it full of happiness? Is it full of resentment? Is it full of joy? Is it full of sadness? Is it full of abundance? Is it full of lack? Is it full of, love and peace and generosity, or is it full of hate? Okay, so it is always full of something, and you are giving from that cup. So what are you giving? What are you giving from your cup? What are you pouring from your cup? The more that you are able to look after your own mindset, your own happiness, the way you feel, the way you perceive the world, and the more that is in a positive light, and this is what you were saying, Senli, the more that you are then going to be giving that to the world, because we are always influencing someone. Okay, we are always influencing someone, whether we think we are or not. Okay. Senley, you're saying we don't have to, oh, I can't read that because that's it. We don't have to deal with pain and settle with what conventional medicine tells us. Yes. Yeah, there's so much that we can do that is on the natural side. There is a time and a place for all medications. Please talk to your doctor. I am not a doctor. Please talk to your doctor. Just be aware, though, that there are so many different options out there. You do not have to just go with what one person says, because you don't know what their mindset is, their beliefs, their holistic look on life is. Get another opinion and then go with what feels right for you. Okay. Martine, totally agree with Mike. I have chronic pain condition that is for life and progresses. Martine, darling, I will talk to you privately after this as well to let you know another alternative that you might want to consider. And at the end of the day, guys, I just want to give you information that will make you go, that'll make you think. That's it. You will then decide what is right for you. Okay? You decide what's right for you. I want you guys to have awareness that there is an alternative. All right? Now, I do actually need to wrap this up because we have somebody else, I believe, might be going live after me. But just really, really consider, guys, what do you say to yourself? All right. Do you feel like you have to sacrifice for others? Because, depending on whether you have grown up in a religious sort of environment, that could be something that that you have going on in your head. We have to serve others. We have to give others. And yes, let's be there for other people. But what I was saying before, what are you actually giving? Okay. There isn't a finite amount of happiness in the world. Okay. It is infinite. You don't have to give up your happiness so that somebody else can be happy. Okay. It's like, I don't have to give up my well-being for somebody else to be well. It doesn't work like that. There's not this finite amount of what's available. Okay, so you don't have to sacrifice anything of yourself for somebody else. So I've got a whole list of beliefs here that I wanted to go through with you, and I will just do that really quickly. Okay, so see if any of these resonate with you. Happiness is fleeting and it doesn't last. Now that could be, because of your past experiences, you might have that perception of the world because that is what has been your past reality. It doesn't have to be your future. Okay, so look for things where people have turned their life around. There are so many incredibly inspiring stories. I am going to share a video with you guys to give you a starting point to have that hope. All right, actually, I might do that now because that way I want to end this with something that you can actually do, something that's going to be proactive for you. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so you can see that, and let me get started on it. Bear with me, guys. I just need to find the start button. This is only a very short video, it just goes for 3 minutes.
After being cut from his high school basketball team, he went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. He wasn't able to speak until he was almost 4 years old, and his teachers said he would never amount to much. Was demoted from her job as a news anchor because she wasn't fit for television. fired from a newspaper for lacking imagination and having no original ideas. At age 11, he was cut from his team after being diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency, which made him smaller in stature than most kids his age. At 30 years old, he was left devastated and depressed after being unceremoniously removed from the company he started. A high school dropout whose personal struggles with drugs and poverty culminated in an unsuccessful suicide attempt. A teacher told him he was too stupid to learn anything and that he should go into a field where he might succeed by virtue of his pleasant personality. Rejected by Decca recording studios, who said, "We don't like their sound. They have no future in show business." His first book was rejected by 27 publishers. His fiancée died, failed in business, had a nervous breakdown, and was defeated in 8 elections. If you've never failed, you've never tried anything new.
Pretty powerful, hey? So I wanted to show you that, just to really reiterate that what other people think is irrelevant. It's what you think that matters, okay? It's what you believe about you. It's what you believe is possible. So your past does not need to determine your future. Sorry, let me turn that on. I beg your pardon. That was the next video playing. So your life, your past does not have to determine your future. This is what I'm talking about. When, if you want things to change for you, go and find inspirational things that will motivate you. Find people who are doing what it is you want to do, because it does not matter what anyone believes. It matters what you believe, and it matters that you want more. You don't have to know how. You just need to decide that you are worth more. Okay, you are worth fighting for, that you are worth trying for, that you are worth making a change. And until you can believe that for yourself, I believe it for yourself. Okay, be around people who are going to lift you up, who are going to encourage you, and then go and take those actions that make you feel good. The more that you can feel good, the more you are going to perpetuate that good feeling, the more you're going to shift the momentum from not feeling good to feeling good. The more you practice it, just like anything, the more you practice it, the better you're going to get at it. And then there's going to be a tipping point where it becomes your majority of your time. And you keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it, because you are worth it. The final thing that I want to say to you guys, so be aware of your language and turn it around, okay? The next thing I want to do is I want to share this one little thing with you that I found. I don't even know where I found it, but it's an amazing little thing that you can all do. And this is the perfect time to start doing it. You know, start today. It's this jar, okay? And what they're saying is that you have an empty jar, and then every single time anything good happens in your day, and it doesn't matter what that thing is. It can be something very small. It can be you found a car park, somebody smiled at you, I don't know, you just felt good because you felt good. It doesn't even matter what the thing was. Anything that made you feel good, anything that went well, write it down on a little piece of paper and you pop it in the jar. Now, the reason that I say that, take every single tiny little thing, because it is the little things that add up to make something good. It's the little tiny habits and the little tiny decisions that we make every single day that have caused you to get to where you are today. So all the little decisions and the little habits and the little changes in the positive that you do are going to change the trajectory of your life. So when you write these things down, you don't have to tell anyone, you don't have to share it with anyone. Keep it personal and to yourself, because this is only for you. You write these little things down, you pop it into your jar. And this post is talking about, then you do that for the entire year, and then on New Year's Eve, you can, the following year, you can sit back and you can read all the great things that have happened in your life. But you don't have to wait for New Year. You don't have to do it for that calendar year, okay? What's important is that you start and you do it. And then anytime that maybe you're feeling a little bit down in the dumps, you can go to that jar and you can read a few things to lift your spirit, to make you feel good. Because the more that you can feel good, the more good things are going to happen. All right, I hope that makes sense to you all. If you've got any questions at all, please let me know. Senli, can I please have the link to share it? Yeah, I will pop the link to that video in the comments once I've stopped going live, so that you guys can watch it for your own inspiration, share it with others to inspire others. Because at the end of the day, the more that we can lift ourselves up, the more we lift other people up, we change the energy of the entire world. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. I am going to stop it now. Martine and Mike, I will get in contact with you both personally. If you've got any questions at all about anything that I've gone through in this live, please type them in the comments and tag me, and I'll be happy to clarify anything. All right, have an amazing Monday, everyone. Bye-bye.